Is it possible that we've been fed a bunch of lies about the feasibility of manned Mars missions? This is the question that has been swirling around in the minds of skeptics, and for good reason. The idea of sending humans to Mars is not a new one. It has been a tantalizing prospect for scientists, engineers, and space enthusiasts for decades. Yet despite the advancements in technology and space exploration, a manned mission to Mars remains elusive. There's a chasm of doubt that separates the dreamers from the skeptics. The skeptics argue that NASA's plans are overly optimistic, perhaps even impossible. They point to the vast distance between Earth and Mars, a journey that would take several months with current technology. They remind us of the inhospitable Martian environment, with its thin atmosphere, freezing temperatures, and intense radiation. And they call attention to the technological challenges that would need to be overcome, from developing a spacecraft capable of such a long journey, to figuring out how to sustain human life on Mars for an extended period. Despite these challenges, the dream of sending humans to Mars persists. Wernher von Braun, the architect of the Apollo moon landing, believed that a manned Mars mission was technically feasible. Today, NASA continues to declare plans for Mars missions, undeterred by the skeptics. They're developing technologies like the deep space transport, and SpaceX is working on their Starship, both of which are potential options for a crewed mission to Mars. Yet the skeptics aren't easily silenced. They point to the astronomical costs associated with such a mission. Some estimates suggest we'd need trillions of dollars to make a manned Mars mission a reality. And with NASA's budget constraints, the skeptics question whether such a mission is financially feasible. So the question remains, are we truly on the brink of manned Mars missions, or is it all just a pipe dream? As we delve deeper into this controversial topic, let's keep an open mind and remember that space exploration has always been about pushing boundaries and venturing into the unknown. The idea of sending humans to Mars isn't new. In fact, it was first proposed by Wernher von Braun, the father of modern rocketry. Born in Germany, this visionary scientist found himself captivated by the red planet, and by the mid-20th century, he was already drafting plans for manned missions to Mars. Von Braun was a man ahead of his time, a pioneer who believed in the boundless possibilities of space exploration. He envisioned a fleet of 10 spacecraft, each carrying a 7-person crew, setting off on a grand voyage to Mars. This was not a mere daydream for him. He meticulously planned everything, from the spacecraft's design to the logistics of the journey, down to the smallest details. His blueprint was ambitious, envisioning a Mars expedition that would last 2 years, with extended stays on the Martian surface. The crew would explore the planet, conduct scientific experiments, and establish the foundations of a permanent human presence on Mars. However, his ambitious plans were met with skepticism. The critics pointed out the astronomical costs of such a mission, not to mention the technological challenges. At the time, the technology required to execute von Braun's vision simply did not exist. The cost, too, was prohibitive. Sending humans to Mars was viewed as a noble but impractical dream. Despite the challenges and skepticism, von Braun's plans for Mars exploration were not in vain. They laid the foundation for future space exploration and sparked a dream that has persisted for over half a century. We've come a long way since von Braun's time, with advancements in technology and a renewed interest in Mars exploration. Yet the dream of sending humans to Mars remains elusive. It's a dream that continues to inspire scientists, engineers, and dreamers around the world. It's a testament to the enduring spirit of human curiosity and our relentless pursuit of knowledge. Despite the challenges, von Braun's vision sparked a dream that has persisted for over half a century. Fast forward to the modern era, and NASA continues to make bold declarations about Mars missions. It's a new chapter in the space exploration saga, and the spotlight is back on the red planet. NASA's Artemis program aims to return humans to the moon by 2024 and use it as a stepping stone for future Mars missions. But wait, there's more. NASA isn't just stopping at the moon. They're also proposing a Mars base camp, a manned spacecraft orbiting Mars that could serve as a research station and launch point for surface missions. Sounds like a science fiction movie, right? But with NASA, it's all in a day's work. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room. The skepticism, the doubts, the questions. How feasible are these plans? Are we biting off more than we can chew? The challenges are immense, both scientifically and financially. Going to Mars isn't just about packing your bags and hopping on a rocket. It's about surviving harsh conditions, long-duration space travel, and the unknowns of a foreign planet. And then there's the budget. The budget. NASA's plans are ambitious, no doubt, but they come with a staggering price tag. We're talking trillions of dollars. Yes, you heard it right, trillions. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. The actual costs could be much higher, considering the technological hurdles and unexpected challenges that could pop up along the way. It's clear that NASA's plans are not without controversy. Critics argue that these plans, while ambitious, are more of a political statement than a realistic goal. They point out the financial constraints, the technological challenges, and the sheer magnitude of the task at hand. In the end, only time will tell whether NASA's bold declarations will materialize into a successful Mars mission. Will we see humans set foot on Mars in our lifetime, or are these plans just a mirage in the vast desert of space exploration? While NASA's plans are ambitious, critics argue that they are more of a political statement than a realistic goal. One of the biggest obstacles to manned Mars missions is the astronomical cost. Now let's break this down. Estimates for sending humans to Mars vary widely, but they all run into the trillions of dollars. Yes, you heard that right, trillions with a T. That's a 1 followed by 12 zeros. Can you even begin to visualize that? NASA's budget, though substantial, is a mere fraction of this. In fact, NASA's entire annual budget is less than 1% of the estimated cost of a manned Mars mission. With such a financial hurdle, one has to wonder, is it even possible to fund such an endeavor? In the world of space exploration, funding is often the most formidable obstacle. The costs of developing technology, building spacecraft, training astronauts, and maintaining operations are staggering. And when it comes to a manned mission to Mars, these costs are multiplied many times over. NASA is no stranger to budget constraints. In fact, it's been a constant battle for the agency since its inception. Despite these financial limitations, NASA continues to declare plans for Mars missions. But with each declaration, the question of how becomes increasingly pertinent. Some critics argue that it would be more prudent to focus on unmanned missions and robotic exploration. These are significantly cheaper and pose no risk to human life. Yet the allure of putting human boots on Martian soil is hard to resist. The financial realities have led some to question the feasibility of NASA's plans. Can we really afford to spend trillions on a Mars mission? Is it worth the cost? These questions are not just practical, they're ethical, and they're being asked more and more. There are potential alternatives. NASA's Deep Space Transport program and SpaceX's Starship are both being touted as cheaper options for a crewed mission to Mars. But even these come with hefty price tags and their own set of challenges. With a price tag in the trillions, it's no wonder that many are skeptical about the feasibility of manned Mars missions. As we continue this journey of discovery, we must ask ourselves, is the cost of conquering Mars a price we're willing to pay? Despite the skepticism, there are new players on the scene who are determined to make manned Mars missions a reality. One of these is NASA's Deep Space Transport program. This initiative aims to develop a reusable vehicle that can carry humans beyond the moon and towards Mars, a bold step in the right direction. Then we have SpaceX's Starship, the brainchild of Elon Musk. This ambitious project plans to build a fully reusable spacecraft capable of carrying up to 100 people to the Red Planet. With its sights set on interplanetary travel, SpaceX is certainly shaking things up. These new players are breathing fresh life into the dream of manned Mars missions. They're pushing boundaries, challenging the status quo, and reigniting our collective imagination. It's an exciting time for space exploration, a new chapter in our quest to conquer the cosmos. Whether these new players will succeed where others have failed remains to be seen. So, are we being told a bunch of lies about going to Mars? That's the question we've been grappling with. The skepticism surrounding NASA's claims isn't unfounded. We've seen the promises and declarations, yet the Red Planet seems as distant as ever. One cannot overlook the rich history of Mars exploration plans, starting from Wernher von Braun's post-Apollo era vision. His conviction that Mars was within our grasp has echoed through the decades, despite the mammoth scientific and engineering challenges. The cost? Astronomical. We're talking trillions of dollars, a figure that makes NASA's budget constraints all too real. But amidst these hurdles, new players have emerged. NASA's Deep Space Transport program and SpaceX's Starship are shaking things up, offering glimmers of hope for a crewed mission to Mars. While the dream of manned Mars missions is far from becoming a reality, it's clear that the debate is far from over.